It's starving in silence. Grocery carts still roll. Self-checkout beeps still echo under fluorescent lights. But beneath that illusion of normal life, something's breaking, quietly, invisibly. The average family is spending more than ever just to eat. Food prices have jumped by double digits since before the pandemic, while wages crawl a few percentage points each year. Every receipt tells a story: debt, sacrifice, and quiet despair. Parents skip dinner so their kids don't go hungry. Workers fake fullness at lunch. Millions who once thought hunger was a problem for other people are realizing it's already at their doorstep. This isn't just inflation. It's collapse disguised as normal life. To understand what's happening, you have to go beyond the headlines, to the states that once symbolized prosperity, independence, and opportunity. Because across America, dinner tables are turning into front lines. 1. The national trap. On paper, the economy still looks alive. Unemployment is low, wages are up, at least in theory. But numbers can lie. Food prices have climbed more than 25% since 2019. The cost of living outpaces paychecks, and the illusion of stability has replaced actual security. The average family now spends nearly a quarter of its income on food. And the cruel part? That doesn't even buy enough. Credit card debt is at record highs. Groceries are now a line item people finance. Buy now, pay later apps have become survival tools, not luxuries. Millions of families are running on borrowed time and borrowed money. America isn't experiencing inflation anymore. It's experiencing adaptation, people adapting to hunger, to less, to stretching one meal into two. But to see how deep this goes, you have to zoom in, to the places that built America's wealth, now living in quiet scarcity. 2. Washington. The prosperous starving state Washington is supposed to be a model of success. Home of trillion-dollar companies, cutting-edge tech, and world-famous coffee shops. But prosperity here has split in two, between the wealthy few and the working many. The middle class once filled shopping carts without counting. Now they stand under bright grocery lights doing silent math. A gallon of milk can cost more than a gallon of gas. Eggs that used to be $2 now push $5. Chicken that was $2 a pound sits above $4. The shelves are full, but the wallets are empty. A family earning a comfortable $90,000 still feels broke. Rent swallows most of it. After taxes, utilities, gas, and daycare, there's barely enough left for food. And so the working class eats smaller meals, buys cheaper calories, or pretends not to be hungry. Food bank visits are up sharply across the state. And the people showing up aren't unemployed, they're teachers, technicians, and nurses. People who built this economy. People who were told that hard work would keep them safe. The cruel irony? Washington's grocery stores have never looked better. Shelves lined with organic fruit, seafood, and imported cheese, all gleaming under perfect lighting. The abundance is real. It's just out of reach. That's not inflation. That's a quiet famine of the middle class. And if one of America's richest states looks like this, imagine what's happening in places that never had Silicon Valley money to begin with. 3. Mississippi. Working hard, going hungry. Mississippi has worn the label of America's poorest state for decades. But the numbers don't tell the whole story. Because this isn't just about poverty, it's about working people, the backbone of the state, now unable to afford what they produce. Teachers, factory workers, and nurses wake up before sunrise, work 10-hour days, and still can't fill their carts without anxiety. Groceries that once cost $600 a month now pass $1,000. That's nearly a quarter of a household's income gone before the first bill is paid. Eggs that once sold for $1 now cost almost $5. Milk passes $6. Ground beef hits $6.50 a pound. These aren't luxury foods, they're survival staples. And while wages barely move, rent and utilities keep climbing. Many families live paycheck to paycheck, covering gas, childcare, and housing, then staring down an empty wallet when it's time to eat. Food banks are overwhelmed. Not by the jobless, but by the employed. Teachers stop by after work. Warehouse workers line up before dawn. Nurses drop in after late shifts, still in scrubs. Pride has turned to survival. And here's the bitter twist. Mississippi grows enough food to feed millions: corn, soybeans, poultry. Yet the people harvesting it can't afford to buy it. Corporate consolidation has stripped away local control. The profits leave, the hunger stays. This isn't a temporary setback. It's the quiet unraveling of a promise, that if you work hard, you'll have enough. In Mississippi, that promise has broken. And the rest of America is catching up. 4. Nevada. The mirage of prosperity. Nevada is a land of lights and illusion. The casinos still glow, the resorts still overflow, the tourists still tip. But behind the spectacle lies a quiet hunger. The waiters carrying $200 steaks can't afford their own dinner. The cleaners polishing luxury suites skip breakfast. The cashiers selling snacks count pennies before buying their own. The average grocery bill in Las Vegas has climbed from around $700 to over $1,100 in just a few years. Milk costs more than $6. Even rice and beans, the cheapest foods, have doubled. Families that once fed themselves comfortably on $150 a week now need $300 and eat less. The state's service economy was built on stability, steady tips, steady shifts, affordable living. But when visitors spend less and costs rise, the illusion collapses. A two-income household earning $80,000 a year may sound secure, but after rent, gas, and insurance, they're left with scraps. Food banks across Nevada report record demand. Working families, casino dealers, small business owners, all waiting in line for the same bag of groceries. They don't fit the image of poverty. They drive nice cars, dress well, and still can't make it to payday without borrowing. In the land of excess, hunger hides in plain sight. And it's spreading faster than the lights on the strip. 5. Texas. Pride under pressure. Texas used to represent prosperity, the freedom to work hard, earn well, and feed your family with pride. But that pride is being replaced by quiet desperation. Food inflation has crushed even the toughest families. Chicken, bread, milk, meat, every staple costs double what it did just a few years ago. The state that once fed America is now feeding a crisis. A family earning $75,000, the state's median, used to feel middle class. Today, they're surviving on the edge. Rent near $2,000, utilities another $500, gas, insurance, health costs, all climbing faster than their pay. One father in San Antonio summed it up, "We don't buy extras anymore. No snacks. No takeout. Just essentials, and even that's not enough." Food banks confirm the reality. Nurses, teachers, and delivery drivers now make up nearly half of their visitors. People who go to work every day still can't afford the basics. Even schools are seeing the fallout. Districts across Texas carry tens of millions in unpaid lunch debt. Teachers quietly pay out of pocket so kids don't go hungry. The myth of the self-reliant Texan isn't dying because people stopped working, it's dying because the math stopped working. When a gallon of milk and a gallon of gas cost almost the same, but paychecks don't move, self-reliance becomes survival. And the tragedy is quiet. You don't see breadlines anymore, you see smaller portions, thinner grocery bags, and the quiet clink of coins at the register. Texas hasn't lost its pride. It's just learning how much pride costs. Section 6. California. The dream that starved. California once defined the American dream: endless sunshine, Silicon Valley riches, Hollywood glamour. But in 2025, that dream has curdled. Behind the palm trees and Teslas, millions of middle-class Californians are one grocery trip away from collapse. The people who teach, heal, and code for a living now stand in the same checkout lines, second-guessing every item. In 2019, a typical family spent around $700 a month on groceries. Now, it's $1,400 to $1,600 depending on the city. In San Francisco, a gallon of milk nears $7. A dozen eggs cost more than $6. A single bag of groceries that used to be $60 now totals $120. Even for households earning $90,000, the math doesn't add up. Rent devours $3,000 a month, taxes take another chunk, and what's left can't stretch far enough. California produces much of America's food: strawberries, lettuce, almonds, avocados. Yet the people who grow, pack, and deliver them often can't afford what they touch. Farm workers and tech workers share the same anxiety. The fridge feels emptier every week. Food insecurity, once a statistic reserved for low-income families, now grips nearly 40% of the state's middle-income households. That's not a typo. That's the future. And it's not just physical hunger. It's emotional hunger, the stress of choosing between healthy food and cheap filler, between eating now or paying the bill later. The American dream here isn't about success anymore. It's about survival without shame. 7. The bigger picture. America's new hunger class. This isn't a local problem. It's not Washington's fault, or Mississippi's, or California's. It's a national crisis stitched together by the same invisible thread: the shrinking power of the paycheck. Across the country, food has become the new luxury. Credit card balances are growing, not because people are buying televisions, but because they're buying dinner. 1 in 3 households now carries grocery debt. And the interest from those charges piles up month after month, creating what experts quietly call hunger debt. It's a new kind of poverty, hidden under clean clothes and steady jobs. The middle class doesn't starve on the streets. They starve in silence. They buy less meat, water down milk, replace fruit with processed substitutes. They call it budgeting, but really, it's survival under a new name. The Great Depression had soup lines. The modern version has delivery apps and debt collectors. This isn't a sudden collapse, it's the slow fading of comfort. A nation living off its credit score, not its paycheck. 8. The emotional toll. Hunger isn't just physical. It eats away at pride. It turns ambition into anxiety. Imagine working full-time, doing everything right, and still wondering if you'll have enough to feed your kids. That kind of quiet fear doesn't show up on balance sheets. It shows up in sleepless nights and skipped meals. Across the country, people hide it. They smile at work, they post photos of weekend meals, but behind those filters are shrinking plates and mounting debt. It's not laziness. It's not irresponsibility. It's math. And the math doesn't lie. 9. The corporate equation. Food companies report record profits. Grocery chains, delivery apps, and agricultural conglomerates are thriving. Meanwhile, farmers go broke. Workers skip meals. Families juggle overdraft fees. The system wasn't built to feed everyone, it was built to feed profit margins. When food becomes an investment instead of a necessity, humanity gets priced out. This isn't a conspiracy. It's a design. And the ones paying the price are the same people who keep the lights on, teach the kids, and drive the trucks that fill those store shelves. The Great Depression 2.0. So what happens when the richest nation on earth can't afford dinner? When the state that feeds the world can't feed its own? We used to measure progress in jobs, homes, and cars. Now it's measured in calories. America's not collapsing in headlines or riots. It's collapsing in grocery aisles, one receipt at a time. The Great Depression never ended, it evolved. It traded breadlines for barcodes, soup kitchens for self-checkout, and despair for debt. If the middle class can't afford to eat, it's not a recession, it's a reckoning. The lights are still shining on Hollywood Boulevard, the tech towers still glow in Seattle, the casinos still hum in Las Vegas. But behind every one of those lights is a family eating less, worrying more, and pretending everything's fine. The question isn't whether America can recover. It's whether America is willing to admit it's starving. Because this time, the hunger isn't visible, it's hidden behind polite smiles and plastic bags. And if we keep calling this normal, we might never notice the collapse until it's already complete.